This is one of the all-time classic films. Written by comedic geniuses and loaded with a cast of brilliant comedic actors, this film uses race in a very blunt way in the backdrop of the Old West. I'm Keith Strahovey. This is a look back at the 1974 Mel Brooks film, Blazing Saddles.
He rode a blazing saddle, he wore a shining
To the new viewer, there's one thing that will stand out right away about this film and maybe question whether they should even be watching it. That is the very casual use of the N-word. If you are one that listens to gangster rap or watches movies by Spike Lee or Quentin Tarantino, then this is not odd to you. A movie from a Jewish white comedian? That's a different story. And this is why Mel Brooks was smart enough to have Richard Pryor, noted black comedian and actor, be part of his writing staff for the film. Actually, Brooks wanted Pryor to play the part of Sheriff Bart in the film, but Pryor declined. The story takes off when the railroad that is being built wants to build right through a town. They can't legally evict the citizens, so a plan to drive them out is hatched. The devious Hedley Lamar, played by Harvey Korman, convinces the governor, played by Mel Brooks, to send the town a new sheriff that would so repulse the citizens that they would leave the town on their own. That new sheriff? Former railroad worker Bart, played by Cleavon Little. What makes him so bad? Have you ever heard of a black sheriff in the Old West?
A black sheriff?
He's black?
And why not? It worked in Blazing Saddles.
The citizens of the town are portrayed as a small inbred community, all white and all from the same family tree. When they discover the new sheriff is black, they quickly roll up the welcome mat. Sheriff Bart's only friend at the start is a drunk locked up in the sheriff's office, played by Gene Wilder. As a kid, the only film I had ever seen Gene Wilder in before this was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Man, I love that movie. The on-screen chemistry between Gene Wilder and Cleavon Little is one of the strongest parts of this film. They deliver most of the punchlines, all with a straight face and the occasional wink to the audience.
Oh, well, maybe a couple of years ago I could have shown you something, but today... Look at that.
Steady as a rock.
Yeah, but I shoot with this hand.
See, I knew you wasn't no Waco kid. You was just pulling my lariat.
In a cast full of character actors, they are the leading roles that this film revolves around. At first, the film focuses on the white bread town and their lack of acceptance of their new sheriff. All of that changes when the railroad realizes that their efforts to have the town move out by giving them a black sheriff isn't working as planned. As the attacks on the town increase, Sheriff Bart starts to take lead and not only continues to protect them, but slowly starts to earn the respect of the citizens. Although this film is 4 decades old, I'm not going to tell you the end. Just know that in typical Mel Brooks fashion, it breaks down to a slapstick masterpiece of fun. I've seen this movie countless times since the 90s, and every time I see something different in it. Probably because as I age, I gain new insight into different messages. A couple of years ago, I went to a screening of the film that was followed by a Q&A with Mel Brooks himself. As I reflect on this movie today, I can confidently say that this movie is about more than just race. That is the part that is in your face. Look, it's the one black man in a sea of white. And they use the N-word throughout the whole film. But just like The Cosby Show, this film is about more than race. Today I think it is more about class. The railroad company used the government to try to divide the town by using race. Many people say this movie could never be made today, but the message is still relevant. The ruling class sought to divide a working class town based on fears of race. Sadly, this is something we can still see happening in our world today. The ruling class still keeps the working class fighting amongst themselves while remaining in power. Now, if you couldn't tell, I highly recommend that you watch this film, but maybe without the kids. And don't watch it on TV. You don't want the edited version. It just doesn't have the same punch. Until next time, I'm Keith. Thanks for watching.